On this Wednesday night, major water main break.
It was lots of water, lots of water.
Calgary streets flooded and new concerns about crumbling infrastructure. The entire city on water rationing again.
We've already filled our bathtub and pots and pails because we know what to expect.
No break in the Russia-Ukraine war. New Year's Eve strikes and fading hope for a ceasefire in the new year.
Russia is simply not interested.
Brazen heist, how German thieves got away with millions in an historic Christmas bank heist. Plus, Canada's men's Olympic hockey roster.
I'm really excited to start this journey and get going.
The young stars and other surprises going for gold in Milan.
Global National with Donna Friesen. Reporting tonight, Chris Galis.
Good evening and thanks very much for joining us. New Year's Eve is feeling a little too much like Groundhog Day for many in Calgary tonight, with the second catastrophic water main failure in just 2 years. Adam MacVicar reports on the emergency response, citywide water rationing, and the close call for drivers caught up in it.
An aquatic rescue in the middle of a major Calgary roadway.
So we had water coming in, the water filled within a minute to the seats, and my wife was on the phone with 911, and we ended up going through the sunroof.
Eric Wisniewski, one of 13 people rescued from their vehicles with water rushing into the street after a critical city water line burst Tuesday night.
While the car was rocking back and forth, it's unnerving.
And Wednesday morning, Calgarians' worst fears confirmed.
This is a catastrophic break along the same feeder main that broke in June 2024.
The line carries 60% of Calgary's drinking water. That rupture prompted a series of repairs and plunged the city into water use restrictions for much of the summer. Less than a year and a half later, Calgarians are being asked to do the same, with mandatory and voluntary restrictions citywide.
Please limit your showers to 3 minutes. Flush toilets only when necessary. Run dishwashers and washing machines only when they're full. They sound like small things, they make a huge difference.
Tuesday's break forcing boil water orders across 3 city neighborhoods, impacting 2,000 homes and 100 businesses in the area.
No, this can't be. Not again. And sure enough, flipped over to the news and saw that is in fact the case.
So frustrating, and I'm so disappointed with this.
Frustrations the city's new mayor says he shares.
We have to fix the pipe, and until we completely replace the pipe, this is a ticking time bomb that Calgarians will continue to live with.
Early city estimates have repairs taking between 7 to 10 days, but that could change. And Calgarians aren't too confident in that timeline, with the 2024 break in the not too distant memory. Chris.
Adam MacVicar in Calgary. Thanks, Adam. A Manitoba First Nation is in a state of emergency after being without power since Sunday. Pimicikamak, a community of nearly 3,000, is 700 kilometers north of Winnipeg and a 2-hour drive to Thompson, Manitoba. Manitoba Hydro says a downed power line in a remote area of challenging terrain has delayed repairs. A spokesman says power may be restored on New Year's Day, but leaders fear it's already too late for some of the infrastructure in the community.
This is now a human safety issue, not just a power outage. The water tanks are frozen, the sewage tanks are frozen, and the water pumps are frozen. That means that the pipes will most likely be frozen. And once they thaw out, if we get the electricity back, we're not going to have plumbing. Running water.
Temperatures are expected to plummet in the coming days to more than -40 with the wind chill. Canadian hockey fans had this date circled on the calendar. We now know who will represent our country in men's hockey at the upcoming Winter Olympics in Italy. The roster includes many of the game's biggest stars like McDavid and McKinnon. But as Neetu Garcha reports, coaches selected some fresh new talent too.
Please look at the monitors as we unveil Team Canada. In a highly anticipated reveal, Hockey Canada has named the 25-man team for the 2026 Winter Olympics in Milan, Italy.
Connor McDavid, Newmarket, Ontario.
The Olympics are getting closer. It's getting more and more real by the day.
With veterans like Connor McDavid, it's almost identical to the team that won the February Four Nations tournament, but with a few notable exceptions, like the addition of 19-year-old Macklin Celebrini from BC.
He is the leader on this team.
San Jose's top scorer is now the youngest player ever named to an Olympic hockey roster in the NHL era.
Macklin is a generational player, and he has, beyond a maturity on the ice, I think he learns incredibly quickly. He is a student of the game. He really cares. He really, really hates to lose.
He worked harder than everybody else on the team.
Celebrini's development was shaped in the U.S., including with the Chicago Steel, where he impressed as a leader among older players.
Macklin was our most important player on the ice most of the time, just based on his talent level.
Tom Wilson is another notable pick, adding muscle and edge to Canada's lineup.
Oh, man. I don't know what to say.
Some stars didn't make the cut, including Connor Bedard.
There's so many good players, and we just had difficult decisions to make.
Off the ice, Hockey Canada is monitoring the Milan arena, marred with construction delays, a smaller rink, and concerns with ice quality.
To be blunt, everybody's nervous, and right now you're sort of getting into the finger crossing. Okay, this is the way it usually is for hockey.
Hockey Canada says it's received assurances from the International Olympic Committee the arena will be ready, and with the team officially set, Canada's geared up to go for gold in February. Neetu Garcha, Global News, Vancouver.
I am in awe.
Celebrity interviewer Nardwuar, the human serviette, whose real name is John Ruskin, is among 80 new appointees to the Order of Canada. Sprinter Andre DeGrasse, baseball player Ferguson Jenkins, and singers Avril Lavigne, Terry Clark, and Raffi are among many others singled out by Canada's Governor General. 7 Canadians are believed to be among dozens injured after a head-on train collision in Peru near Machu Picchu. 2 tourist trains carrying visitors to the UNESCO World Heritage Site collided Tuesday, killing a train driver and injuring about 40 people, some of them seriously. Global Affairs Canada says consular officials are assisting Canadians and are in contact with local authorities as police investigate the cause of the crash. New Year's Eve celebrations were dampened across Ukraine after an overnight Russian drone attack on the city of Odesa. Russia has threatened to scale up its strikes in response to an unverified claim that Kyiv targeted key government buildings earlier this week. As Reggie Cecchini reports, it all makes a peace deal unlikely anytime soon.
Marking a 4th holiday season under fire, Ukrainians have learned to close out the year holding on to hope, faint as it might be. I want to believe in something good on the eve of the holidays, this woman says, so we have to look for meaning. It's not always an easy feat. Both sides exchanged attacks overnight, including Russia hitting a residential block in the southern port city of Odesa. Any family could find themselves in this situation, this resident says. We're all equal now because no one knows where the next strike will land. No one except for Vladimir Putin, who in a New Year's message to his country made no mention of ongoing peace talks, but made certain the war will be Russia's to win.
He has maximalist demands of what he wants, all the territory he's taken, territory that he has not taken. I don't see any real progress in getting a peace agreement because Russia is simply not interested.
In fact, Moscow is promising to change its position on peace talks after claiming without proof Kyiv attempted to attack a presidential palace, calling it targeted and carefully planned. Ukraine, Europe, and even the U.S. have questioned this claim, but it's not slowing momentum. Donald Trump's war envoy, Steve Witkoff, held a call with regional security partners on Wednesday, focused on how to move the discussions forward in a practical way.
I just think we're doing very well.
The U.S. and Ukraine are discussing joint security plans, possibly even troops on the ground. A Russian red line that could be further tested given Zelensky's willingness to talk strategy.
He's doing exactly the right thing. Keep hammering out details as to what a reasonable outcome would be. Keep the spotlight on Putin's intransigence.
While success is far from certain, each new year brings Ukrainians a new sense of resilience. Reggie Cecchini, Global News, Washington.
Hunting Christmas thieves. Coming up, and new details about a shocking bank heist in Germany. and how thieves stole tens of millions of dollars worth of valuables. Police in Germany are investigating one of the most audacious bank robberies in years. Masked thieves are said to have drilled through walls and emptied thousands of private safety deposit boxes, escaping with valuables worth tens of millions of dollars. Redmond Shannon reports on the hunt for the robbers and the thousands now scrambling for answers.
If you think the aftermath of this German bank heist looks like something out of Hollywood, you're not alone. Police describe the theft as similar to the movie Ocean's 11. But this robbery of safety deposit boxes has more than one victim. It has almost 3,000.
Wir wollen rein!
Customers demanded to be let inside the bank, but unlike the criminals, they were shut out. Each are only partially insured, up to about $16,000. How are we supposed to feel, asks this woman. Other customers said their retirement savings are all gone. Police say the robbers used a large drill on Saturday night to get at the loot via an underground parking garage, which was just a wall away from the vault. This officer says the burglars took advantage of the quiet Christmas period. German news outlet Bild says this is CCTV footage of the robbers leaving in a stolen black Audi.
Someone would need to know the interior of the bank. Perhaps it's as simple as someone having rented a safety deposit box in that particular bank, or it could be someone more nefarious involved in the bank itself.
This former FBI agent says CCTV footage in the wider area will be key to finding the culprits.
Personal property, especially jewelry, all has to be sold in the criminal world, melted down, etc. There is some time for law enforcement to act.
These desperate depositors will be hoping the new year brings a break in the case. Redmond Shannon, Global News, London.
Just ahead, major fallout from a controversial video alleging fraud at Minnesota daycares and how innocent children are impacted. The Trump administration has frozen nearly $200 million in child care funding for the state of Minnesota. The White House says the move targets long-standing fraud at several daycare centers in the state, claims amplified by a conservative YouTuber over the holidays. Candace Cole reports on the allegations and the political firestorm between Washington and Minnesota's Democratic leaders.
Our president decided he doesn't like the Somali community and he wants to destroy them.
Child care workers and advocates in Minnesota firing back against the Trump administration after the Department of Health and Human Services said it would freeze federal funding for child care in response to allegations that daycare operators there have been misappropriating those funds for a decade. That announcement,
what do you guys think about the fraud that's taking place here in Minnesota?
Following this viral video shot by MAGA influencer Nick Shirley. In it, he alleges that about a dozen daycares receiving funding are not actually providing services. But according to a separate analysis by CBS, only 2 of those child care facilities mentioned were shown to be without an active license. It also revealed violations around safety and cleanliness, but not fraud. And this security footage shows children being dropped off by their parents at ABC Learning, one of the facilities targeted by Shirley. The owner believes for political reasons.
What did I do? I'm just a typical human being who wants to live and do the right thing. I have kids to feed.
On X, Democratic Minnesota Governor Tim Walz acknowledged issues of fraud within the child care system, saying he spent years cracking down on fraudsters and accuses Trump of politicizing the issue to defund programs that help Minnesotans.
Intrepid journalists have made shocking and credible allegations of
HHS Deputy Secretary Jim O'Neill now says he's requiring justification before federal payments are made and demanding that Governor Walz conduct an audit of the daycares in question. He's also launched a fraud reporting hotline. According to the Administration for Children and Families, Minnesota gets $185 million a year to fund child care programs that help 19,000 children. Candace Cole, Global News, Washington.
Up next, news from A to Z. Mike Armstrong breaks down 2025's biggest stories.
I would say that the ice is a little natural, but it's great to have it.
That's Prime Minister Mark Carney strapping on the skates, joining fellow Canadians for the opening of the Rideau Canal Skateway. This is the earliest it's opened since 2018. And one important footnote to this, if we may, the footage you're watching was shot by Global's Luigi Della Penta on his final day for us after 43 awesome years on the job. Congratulations, Luigi, and good luck. Now, an annual tradition at Global National is to end the year with a creative look back at the year that was. Our most tenured reporter, Mike Armstrong, walks us through 2025 from A to Z.
365 days of news broken down alphabetically. We're going to start with A is for artificial intelligence. And not just ChatGPT, but also those creepy music generators.
The sort of thing that enables me with zero musical talent of any kind to give you parts of this list as a song. But here goes the rest of the list.
B is for bourbon. Pulled off a lot of shelves in Canada thanks to tariffs and talk like this.
I do like the O Canada, right? It's a beautiful thing. I think we're going to have to keep it for the 51st state. I intend to resign.
C is for comeback. Not many predicted the Liberals could win, considering where they started the year. C could have been for collapse. D is for Derby Line and the library that straddles the Quebec-Vermont border. Not a problem, apparently, until this year.
What the United States is doing is inappropriate and wrong.
E is for Expos, the team I thought of over and over during the Jays playoff run. Sorry.
Football unites the world.
F is for FIFA Peace Prize. I wonder if it'll ever be awarded again. Excellent.
Right off the hop.
G is for gold. The Four Nations tournament was much better than expected, and winning was nice.
Oh, we got the gold.
The gold in the upcoming Olympics in Italy is necessary.
The thieves dressed as construction workers.
H is for heist. The Louvre thieves seem to have gone with the keep it simple rule of robbery and keep it expensive.
It'd be nice to find a few diamonds that they may have missed or dropped on the way out.
I is for Iran. Accustomed to fighting through proxies, it went after Israel directly in April and was hit hard in response. J is for judge. There was a controversial verdict in July in the Hockey Canada sexual assault trial. The 91-page decision is hard to read.
Video appeared to capture a suspect running on a nearby roof.
K is for Charlie Kirk, a culture war commentator killed in the middle of a conversation.
Nothing I say can unite us as a country.
L is for LA fires. 25 people were killed, 12,000 structures damaged or destroyed, and 40,000 acres burned.
Look at it shooting up the trees, Mark.
M is for massive, as in the area burned this summer in this country. 2025 was the second worst fire season in history and showed 2023 wasn't a fluke.
Is it really summer if we're not being traumatized by smoke?
Now, N is for Netherlands. I got to cover the 80th anniversary of the liberation this year. Walked away, again, proud to be Canadian and very happy with how our veterans were honored.
What's this like?
Overwhelming, really. Absolutely wonderful. Beautiful. I've never experienced anything like it before in my life.
O is for Alexiak, a 2-year ban, and I still don't understand how it happened. P is for Pope. The Vatican got one who's a Chicago White Sox fan.
Signed by Pope Leo XIV.
Didn't see that coming. Q is for Quasi. Indigenous groups getting artifacts back from the Vatican wasn't quite justice, and it wasn't quite closure. R is for rebuild. That's the word I think of right now when it comes to Gaza. There is so much work to do.
this is not right. Something happened.
S is for SpaceX. There were a couple of big explosions.
Oh, looks like we're getting our next crew member here.
But the company also helped bring a couple of stranded astronauts back to Earth.
If you didn't have our military equipment.
T is for tumultuous. For an Oval Office meeting in February that fell apart in front of our eyes.
You're not acting at all thankful. And that's not a nice thing. I'll be honest, that's not a nice thing.
U is for Ukraine, a country still defending itself in a war Russia was supposed to win in a week.
What if I were to tell you that I'm not even a human being?
V is for video.
This is unbelievable, lad.
Be careful what you share, because basically anything you see might be fake.
Oh, this is just paradise.
I'm a mission specialist.
W is for waiting. Imagine being Canadian astronaut Jeremy Hansen. He's headed to the moon early in 2026, but the mission's been delayed over and over, and yet somehow he never complains.
When you meet people constantly who would love to have your job, there couldn't be any sympathy for having to wait a few extra years to fly space. I mean, I get to go to space.
We're going to do things to Nigeria that Nigeria is not going to be happy about.
X is for exhausting, as in the pace of news out of the U.S.
Well, Donna, we understand from the Pentagon that...
Shout out to our D.C. bureau. They work darn hard keeping up.
We need Greenland for national security and even international security.
The give and go. Tabla's gone. Carducci with the stop.
Y is for, no. I'm not sure the Canadian Premier League final had to be played in these conditions.
Good opportunity for Reshevsky. He just catches more snow than anything else.
He simply got them intimidated.
And finally, Z is for Zen, which is how we usually think of the late Ken Dryden in Nat.
He did something so special.
But my favorite story of the year was about something he did off the ice.
Hello.
A call to a dying fan, a story we agreed not to tell while Dryden was alive.
Holy cow.
But we let the fan's son tell it after.
He probably did thousands of things like this for countless different people, and we'll just never know.
It was one of those things that reminds you of how important small gestures can be, and it was a nice lesson to take from 2025. Happy New Year.
And that is Global National for this Wednesday. I'm Chris Galis. From New Zealand to Thailand, dozens of countries are kicking off the new year in spectacular style. We'll leave you tonight with some of the celebrations from nations that have already ushered in 2026. Thanks very much for watching, and Happy New Year.